along on your Thursday evenings. I think I do know most of you here at this stage, but for those of you who don't, I'm Kim from Beacon Lab. And you are here at the Cutting Edge Club workshop. So this is the fourth round of the Cutting Edge we've done, and we have done all four here in Christchurch. So it's good to see some familiar faces back and a few new ones as well. If you haven't been to one of these before, basically the idea behind it is giving you some inspiration, some new ideas for some value-added products. Key thing to keep in mind is that we're not saying that this is the be-all and end-all. We're not saying that exactly what we're doing here is going to work in your shop. We're saying, look at these products. Some of them you may need to do a couple of little twists on, and you might find something that really works in your shop. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take you through the products which are in this little book, and I've had a taste of the first one that we're going to do. We're going to give you tastes of four of them as we go along. So leading us in the demos, we've got Corey, who I'm sure most of you know, the South Island Dungeness rep, and also the captain of our Pure South Shark Lakes. And this time, for the first time, we've also brought across Michael James from Brisbane, who owns Korean North Quality Meats up there, and is the captain of the Australian team. So we've been going around, we did 3 of these in the North Island a couple of weeks ago, and we did one in Nelson last night. So pretty much we'll take you through these, jump in as we go along with any questions, and yeah, we'll just go from there. I'll hand over to Corey.
Thanks, Kim. So again, you're just welcome along to the Cutting Edge workshop. Like Kim said, we're not here to tell you how to do anything. We're sort of here just to give you some ideas. We don't know your customers or your business. That's something that you guys should know. So, you know, like so with things like pricing and stuff like that, we leave that to you because it's your store. We can sort of only guide you on like so what we get told by guys that have done these things in the past. Like we've had some really good feedback just in the last week from when we did the one in the North Island. So yeah, we can just sort of pass that on to you. But what does help us do what we're doing here is when you guys actually communicate with us and interact and give us some feedback as we're going. You know, you might be already doing some of these things in your store, and you know, you might have a suggestion, and we're open to that sort of stuff. So please, yeah, tell us about it, and we can just sort of move through it. And just as we go, like you guys will get to taste it, so it's quite nice to get a little bit of feedback on it as we go as well. And you know, you might have something a little bit different that you want to keep to yourself. That's fine as well. But we'll just move through, and just between Michael and I, we'll just go through and just talk about what we've done and why we've done it, and then try and get some feedback from you guys. Would be good.
I'm Michael. I'm from Queensland, Australia. Fortunately or fortunately, which way you want to look at it, we lost to Corey's team this year. I've got a shop in Brisbane. It's close to the city, it's only 5 km from the city. We do a lot of value added in my shop. I do most of the demos for the Australian version, which is the MLA. We've been doing it over there 7 years now, and it has taken off. It's taken off in different shops from the city to the country, and whatever shop you've got, you know, you can change your ingredients to fit your shop for your prices, and it does work, but you just got to make sure that you do it on the correct days, and you just do enough for that day so you're not over catering for the value-added products. But it's a good way to learn, and you know, Beef and Lamb do all this work. They find out the info from the customers, so it's a good opportunity to try something in your shop, and all the research is already done for you. So it's really costing you nothing. And I've been doing it at my shop for about 7 years, and we've changed our whole shop over now, and 40% of my shop is all value added. In my shop we've got 4 butchers and 2 apprentices, and my apprentices do all my value added too. So it's a whole shop, everyone does it. So you know, you've got to get young guys involved too, because they do all the cooking shows, they listen to, you know, what's on TV more than what you do. So I always encourage my young guys to really get involved in it, because you know, they are the mover and shakers of your shop. They hear what's happening, so you know, don't be afraid to share your ideas around.
Okay, so you'll notice that if you've got your wee books here in front of you, the first one that we're going to do a demo is the one that you've obviously just tasted, which is the Twizzler. And again, the Twizzler's relatively basic, easy for anybody to sort of go through and do. And the idea of the Twizzler actually come that it's one of the things that we did in the Sharp Lakes team earlier this year. So I actually managed to get my hands on a book that came out of the UK, published in 1980. So this was something that they were doing back in the UK in 1980, and I sort of thought it was a great idea to sort of put something different on the shelves in the butcher shops and supermarkets in New Zealand. And the feedback that we have had from it's been absolutely fantastic. So like Michael, he's just going through there and he's putting 3 meatballs to a stick with a piece of streaky bacon. You'll see in your wee book there, you have a look at it, you can sort of follow step by step and go through. You can use like the recipe that we've got here for you, which is a dried thyme, garlic and chilli flakes. Again, just an idea. Some of the guys are just using like their Hamburg 6% seasoning and just rolling them out of that. It's entirely up to you. You know, these are only ideas. But it's one of those things like so when we've been doing them and talking to the people, you know, there's not a lot of guys that like making grill sticks, you know, having to go through the process. So this is just another form of a grill stick with just something a little bit of a different spin to it by putting your streaky bacon through it. I don't know, what did you think of the taste of them? They taste all right?
Too much pepper.
Too much pepper? So again, that's something that you just, and you adapt to it, yeah. If you wanted to aim them at kids, you might want to take the pepper away and just stick with a basic meal, no? Then if you want to spice them up and turn them into an adult's kebab, then you can do it that way.
What sort of costing are you doing on them? Like, what are you charging for one of those?
Well, they've actually varied between $2 and $3. So, which is quite good money. Because what we've sort of noticed in the market, a grill stick has a market point, a price point, doesn't it? $1. So, you know, you'll get the odd place that'll be selling them for $2, but you see a lot of grill sticks for $1. And when you guys know yourself, like I don't need to tell you that when you've already got something, it's very hard to get the price of it up. But when you introduce something new into your cabinet, it gives you an opportunity to actually increase your price. Because one of the reasons that we, you know, like, there's a main reason you go into business or you're in a business, isn't there? And that's to make money. And it's very hard, so if you can adapt something new, get a price point to where you want it. And like we were saying before, like we've just done small meatballs on them. If you want to make them more expensive, go bigger. If you want to drop them, go smaller. There's nothing stopping you just putting 2 meatballs to a stick. You guys, like we were saying before, you know your customers, you know where things are selling. But it's one of those things, like how many you sell by multi-buy now? Majority would be using multi-buys, wouldn't they? Yeah, so, you know, like that seems to be the way that, and most of the guys that we talk to seem to be talking $2 each or 6 for 10. And that's their multi-buy. And it might be one of those things, you might use your multi-buys to get it going, and then once it's selling really well, you drop the multi-buy and you just get what you would like for them. But again, that's entirely up to you. You know, like you might want to spice them up a little bit more with a couple of cherry tomatoes just to get a bit more colour. Recommend, you know, just a wee bit of a garlic steak sprinkle or a Hawaiian coating or something on top just to again change the appearance of them. But the feedback that we got from the North Island over last week was that these were the biggest and easiest to sell straight away. Like guys were into them the next day and they were moving. We were getting emails to say how good it was. They did a wee article on the Retail Meat New Zealand website about a month ago now and sort of said that the cutting edge workshops were coming up. They put this in there and guys were trying it. I had one of the stores that I deal with, he put 10 trays out. Within 30 minutes the 10 trays were gone. Because he went to have a look at them, because until I said put them out, he was, where did you put them? Oh, they were there. So, you know, but they put their own spin on them as well.
You know, if you've got a favourite premix of a gourmet sausage, you know, if you're unsure of them first, you know, you could use that first, so it's not going to really cost you as much money. So, you know, when you've got a filler, you've got another kilo of meat still in the nozzle and things like that, maybe try that first, and they may not cost you as much as if they move. But These ones here, they're great for taste testing too. You know, if you do a taste testing on these, they'll move a lot quicker. It's a big thing to try taste testing on a Saturday when you're most busiest. But when you do taste testing, I only put one meatball per bacon rash. So don't do a taste testing with 3, just shoot with 1 meatball with the 2 feet. But I done it at my shop, and they were $3 each or 4 for 10. And they moved. More people bought the 4 for 10 because you're really getting 1 for $1, but realistically they're not. But a mindset says they're getting 4 for 10. So a multi-buy is good, good ticket, and you know, tell a story on it. And with these kebabs, when you do sell them, make sure you tray them up in a tray. You know, you're doing them, so when you sell them to a customer, put them in a tray instead of just put them in the bags. So when they don't come home, they're not squashed. So if you're going to sell them, make sure you have a journey from the shop to your car, to the person's car, to the person's house. You know, because they bought it like that, that's how they want it when they take it home.
Exactly.
But I haven't had trouble selling them. Saturday, I only make them on Friday. So they're a good barbecue and barbecue option, because when you've got bacon in them, you can take out the price, you can put a price on it. Do you know what I mean? So if you're just going to put 3 meatballs on it, you're only going to get $1, $1.50. Put a bit of bacon and a season, you've got a price point different to a normal kebab.
Have you played around with the meat component, like lamb,
Yeah,
chicken, anything like that?
I've done a beef one as well. But whatever is popular with the gourmet risotto, that's what I'd use.
You know?
So you, like you say, you could do a lamb one easy.
Yeah, so I'm thinking lamb
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Lamb-
It all depends on
lamb
where you
feet.
want your price point to be, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And it's like at the moment, people are looking for food for the barbecue.
Yeah.
So
So then
it's-
again, you mix it up with a multi-buy, so then you can pick and choose 2 for all, 2
Yeah.
of this, 2 of that. And, you know, it just gives more perception.
Yeah.
So how many of those would you sell on your Friday in your shop in Brisbane, and how long will it take to roll the balls out? Get them prepped up, mincing a lot. Like,
Well,
That's as fast as the guy using the mincer and the...
I just roll them up on a Friday,
yeah,
put them in your cold room, and then next day just do the bacon.
yeah, so
the
prep it up
balls.
the day before. Yeah.
Yeah, but no disrespect to the 2 girls, but they did maybe 120 in an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Yeah.
and that was the first time they've done it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I reckon Apprentice could knock off 40 in about 20 minutes after the meatballs rolled the day before.
Can I get a friend like you, mate? Where do you find them?
But like, so you would run yours through your multi, inject the linker, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a cheat at my shop. I've got a Handman or a Lisker,
Yeah,
so they just
perfect.
pump out
Yeah.
malls. But if I didn't have one of those, I'd just do it the night before, or get an ice cream scoop, get a small ice cream scoop.
Yeah, nice.
You know, you get the ball scoops and all that.
Yep. Yep.
You can put them pretty quick, but I do the meatballs the Friday afternoon and get the bacon ready Saturday, so you're just doing one job, but only do 30, 20 or 30 for the
Sell
first
them out for the
day.
weekend.
And once they sell, you can just tell people, I'm going to make some next week.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big secret. Just don't do 50 and then you're going to be stuck. Just do 20 or 30. But you won't have trouble. You just got to remember, something like this, people are a bit scared too. So on a Saturday, you want to do some tasting. Just put a toothpick and 1 meatball of the bacon. That would get people going. But the multi-buy is a big thing.
Straight away, lamb.
And like, so most of you guys from use the New World, you got your hot plates there, haven't you? So you're lucky, you know, you can do the tastings, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you haven't got a, not lucky enough to have a hot plate, you've got to, you know, you can get your hands on a frying pan.
Easy to run through your deli.
Yeah, just get somebody to work with you and get them out there, eh?
Yeah, easy.
And like Michael said, when you're doing samples, even the meatball doesn't need to be that big. You might have a couple of small meatballs.
Yeah, just like a toothpick.
Just enough to fill a wee toothpick to actually give them that flavour. So yeah, and like to say, we like just to give us a bit of an idea. When you see something like that selling, what sort of price in your store? What do you reckon you'd get for that? Or what would you try and get for it if you were putting them in there tomorrow? $2? $3.
$3. Yeah.
You might as well start where you really want it, isn't it? There's no point starting down here and thinking I'll build them up.
Yeah, better off starting high, and if they don't move, you drop them down a wee bit,
Yeah.
but you can't go back up once
That's
they're there.
right. And use your multi-buys to help you.
Yeah.
And then once you know you've got them going really well, you can drop your multi-buy.
And you've got to talk them up to kick them off, though. Like, you've got to, get them going.
That's right. And that's the whole idea about coming along to like so these and bringing as many of your staff as you can. Because like so you guys will know that if you go back to work with an idea but the other guys sort of don't really believe in it, you'll struggle to actually push it out. So you actually need everybody to believe in what you're doing. So if you are going to make something like this, then go back to work, get the frying pan out and cook it up so everybody gets a taste. And even like so your meat packers right across the board, everybody who works in your department, so when whoever's in the meat case, somebody's looking for something a little bit different, they can actually sell it.
Yeah.
It's one of the comments, a lot of our customers, and you guys know it yourself, how many of your customers actually don't know how to cook
Yeah.
and need your help? Lots of them, isn't there? So that's exactly it. If you can help them and give them the right cooking instructions and they come back, they'll buy them again with a bit of luck, rather than sort of being disgruntled because they weren't satisfied. So yeah, nice and simple. And as I say, these have been a good seller.
These are ones that obviously we did in all of our demos, and one of the ones in Wellington last week, we had someone who'd never come to one of these before and didn't do any value-added products in their store. And this is the one he took home and thought, okay, if I'm going to start somewhere, I'm going to start with this. And he sent us an email. Must have gone home, we did it on the Friday, must have done it on the Saturday in the shop. I just did 30, and he came back, sent us an email and said, well, they sold in an hour. And he was sold then going to go and try a few other things. And yeah, so that was a shock which, customers weren't used to this kind of product. So they obviously saw something different and saw, value in it.
So you see the next one we're moving on to is the flat iron steak. How many of you here have done flat iron steaks in your business before?
What's that?
Flat irons.
No.
Yeah. So again, this one we come to. We'll go back to the sharp wax again. We got it handed to us on a plate the first year by the Aussies, and we cut cross-cut blade steak and we tried to display it and actually do something with it, and it wasn't sort of good enough to give us a winning edge. So I was back to the drawing board and we actually Googled what we could do with the cross-cut, and it actually came out that in America they're using it as a flat iron steak, and it's a huge seller over there. So that's what we basically did. We, doing what Mike was doing here, we got some cross-cuts in. We basically denoodled them, took the silver skin off the top and the fat, we took the collagen out of the centre, and then we removed any of the bone skin from the underside and turned it into a frying steak. Because like coming into summer, what do you guys do with your cross-cut blades? Like you'll probably still sell a wee bit, but your volume normally does come down, doesn't it? So and what do you do with them? Mince. How many tenderisers use it for the barbecue steak? Through the tenderiser? No one?
It's beautiful steak, but I don't think New Zealand's educated enough on it.
They're not, and that's where we come into it. Like if we want to sell it, the idea is we'll hopefully get them educated, and we will see it become more and more popular with time.
Yeah.
We can't get enough of it either, though, it seems.
In the summer,
Just your crosscut on its own.
in the summer you seem to be able to get them.
Yeah.
They are there,
Are they?
because
Don't want them.
so that's why if we can buy them in for $6 a kilo or even $5.50 and turn them into something a little bit better. So as you see, like there is a little bit of waste that comes off it. We don't class it as waste. The only piece of waste out of it really is the collagen out of the centre. The rest of it is actually still mince and patty trim. So do take that into account. And also, when you actually start doing a few of them, it doesn't take too long to do.
How does that roast up? Like, say if you were to skin that off the collagen straight off and maybe roll it up as like a beef olive or something like that?
It'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eat it right.
It's coming around now, you have a taste of it, and you actually see the eating quality. Every demo I've done, especially got to the North Island, didn't really tell them what it was. They thought it was porterhouse steak.
What's that, sorry?
It eats like porterhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So, and the secret, like, if you're going to do this, like I've got guys that are actually doing them that I've actually been dealing with, and they're getting 25, 22, 30 bucks a kilo.
Yeah.
So that is they're getting more for their rump steak.
Thank you.
But
Was it a short?
just to ensure the tenderness, what we usually do is we do give them a bit of a tenderise. But the thing is, again, we don't want to drop it through a tenderiser or beat it with a mallet because it basically turns it into barbecue steak, doesn't it? And you'll all agree, barbecue steak sort of has a price point. It can't sort of go much above 15.
Lowers the product.
Yeah, it does. And you know, we're going to see it between now and the end of summer for probably 10 bucks a kilo in a lot of places on special. So we use the wee blades. Like I know you're using one of these, Dan.
Yeah.
Is anybody else using one?
Does Dunningham sell one?
Every 500 bucks you spend with me, I'll look after you on one.
That'd be 45 bucks each.
No, 60.
Okay.
Let's get real, these are good. So, like I say, and yeah, we do sell them, and quite pleased to sell them because a lot of guys don't actually realise how good they are. Like it's just a simple and nice and easy to clean. You just take the screw out of there and the blade, you got 3 blades, you give it a nice wash and it's done. But it's as simple as just pushing it through the other side.
That's good.
But if you have a look at it, I haven't made it into barbecue steak, have I? I actually, again, deal with guys that are actually just all in their butcher shop to get their top price for their rump steak. They're actually using one of these just to give it a few pushes and actually just ensure that it is tender. You guys know what it's like, you can buy something that's a little bit, so it's just another way. But we've just pushed that through it and turns it into basically a flat iron steak. The other thing that we sort of, like when we were doing last night, we were sort of talking to the guys and guys wanted to coat it in Chinese honey. Because, you know, like they said, oh, well, marinate, you know, put a bit of Chinese honey on it. Again, you leave your Chinese honey, and this is only just an idea, leave your Chinese honey to your barbecue steak and go something a little bit different, something you haven't used for a while. Because, like, if you think, what was the eating quality of that like?
Yeah, very good.
Have you thought you were eating a piece of cross-cut blade? No. So,
Great flavour and tenderness.
this is, and what we've done is, that one that you're eating now is actually, we've glazed it in the new Arabica coffee.
Coffee.
That's coffee.
Buffalo.
Nah, Arabica coffee.
I don't know.
Just here. So just something a little bit different.
Is there coffee?
We've also sort of, just as we've been going through and doing these demos, we've sort of been doing, like Michael, he'll glaze one up here. Is that something else? I've got the you do a dry one, I've got a beer. And we're just trying also, like, so a lot of guys when they're using, like, so they're Dunningham's glazes or anybody's glazes, they're actually using the glazes at 100% glaze, which is not really how they should be used. The best way to use one of these glazes is actually make it into a paste, and basically what we've worked on here is a third glaze, a third water, and a third oil. So you're actually bringing the cost down as well. So your glaze actually becomes cheaper than a marinade, but better than a marinade. Because, like, you know, marinades are good, but you guys have got to remember you're buying water, a lot of water. So by putting a, you know, a nice glaze on it, mixing it with your oils and bits and pieces actually gives you a nice piece.
When I do all the glazes in my shop in Brisbane, we do a third glaze, a third water, and olive oil. So the water gives it depth and heaviness, which makes it heavier, and your olive oil gives it a gloss.
Is anybody using oils and waters in their glazes?
Yeah.
You guys are? Yeah. And it does make a difference, eh? It also brings your costs down.
Do you just make up what you need, or do you make up a whole big bottle?
You make up roughly what you're going to need. When we had it, we had flavour makers, well, it must have been not last week, the week before, they actually come over and were telling us about it. They've had it tested. This here in the fridge will keep for 10 days. So once you've made it up, you don't just throw it down the sink, you actually keep it. So, and you just basically glazing your steak up, and you'll see within a short time that one will look nice and glossy, and the other one will sort of go quite dull. The other thing to do as well, as you bring it out of the fridge and it thickens up, you just add a wee bit more oil and a wee bit more water, so you're slowly extending it.
We do these at my shop. We put them in the servo first, and then they went really well. And now we just cryovac them in the 210 by 300 bags. We just put 2 per steaks in the bags, and I just call mine Karina's Coffee Flat Iron Steaks. So your steak's got a name to your shop, and then also if anyone goes to a barbecue and they have your steak, the person won't say it's a flat iron steak. They say it's a Karina Coffee Flat Iron Steak.
Do you dip those when you put them in your cryovac bags, or do you just vacuum seal them? Just...
No, I marinate them just like that.
But when you put them in your cabinet cryovac, did you say? Do you dip them, or do you just leave them?
Just leave them. I don't flush them or anything.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, in Queensland, obviously, I've got a long summer, but we sell them all the way through. We're getting my rums are $25 a kilo, and they taste very similar to rum. So I put mine at $23 a kilo.
Do they ask what it is?
Yeah, and I
Are they
just
put off by it?
no, because it's a flat iron steak. So you've taken the barbecue steak out of the equation. So it's not a barbecue steak. So that price is gone. So the flat iron steak has got a new price.
So, and that's where you guys come in from as a butcher. Like, there's no way you could have put that in your case and expect someone just to come along and start buying it. You know, like, the best thing you could do is you'd definitely be talking demonstrations and actually educating your customer. Otherwise, you know, like, they may not do it right. And of course, if they get a bad eating experience with it, they're not going to hurry back and buy it. But like, we've demoed that now to, I don't know, what have we done? Let's just say 300 people. And not one of them has said, tough, yeah.
Can you show me how much wastage is on that again, sorry? Right, the Jack's one across.
That's just one.
Yeah.
That's one, and you've got
What, 4, 3?
Yeah, there's no such, that's exactly it. There's no such thing as wastage.
that's the only waste that you could use.
Yeah.
That you can.
Yeah.
That's your meatballs.
Yeah, that's your meatball. That's your $15 a kilo for your rissoles or whatever you're getting.
I'm struggling with the coffee taste.
Me too.
The way that I look at it is, how many people that you know have a coffee day?
Coffee day.
Don't know that many people.
Well, a lot of people have coffee now. So a lot of your customers, you got to think what they are having.
I mean, it's nice. No problem. I just couldn't relate the name of what the steak is to the flavour.
I mean, no one's saying that that's the flavour you have to use either. I mean,
No,
it's really
no.
nice chimichurri that we use.
Yeah, we've used the chimichurri. We just run out of it, so we didn't use it. We used it for the coffee rub for this one.
The buffalo would be nice, huh?
Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's a flat iron steak. It's not a Arabica coffee flat iron steak.
No.
The reason we chose coffee is very, very trendy. You don't have to educate us in coffee. You all, if you don't drink it, you'd be one of the very few.
More than this, I think.
It's more the thing. And again, when you're using a glaze, like how many of you actually read the side of the bag and actually see how much glaze you're actually supposed to use to the meat ratio you're using? How many of you? Yeah. The Arabica coffee is actually only used between 3 and 5%. So, you know, like if you're doing 10 kilos of meat, you're only using 300 grams of the glaze. And most of the other ones are about 7%. So, and like I go around to the stores and I see the guys using it and they're just tipping it on. And they don't actually realise, and then they go to the sink at the end of the day or the end of with their tub and they just give it a rinse out and pour it down the hole. So that's something else, you know, just when as you're going, you've got to sort of think about those things, you know, how you can extend and make your product better for your customer. By putting a little bit of olive oil in, you sort of give it a nicer look and you also help with the cooking experience as well. If you talk to a lot of people, they tell you that you should oil your steak, not the pan. So the same sort of thing, you've actually oiled it. And as you can see, one's still looking glossy and the other one is slowly sort of and that's exactly it. So like, so think outside the square, make your own glaze, put your own spin on it, sell it as a flat iron steak. And like I said to the guys last night, if you're working in a retail butcher shop or a supermarket with you're lucky that you've got the serve over, make it a centrepiece for a few days and actually sell a story with it. So you don't need to revert that it was a piece of crosscut originally. All you need to know is that it's going to be a fantastic frying steak. It's big in America. You've been trialling it here. It's been selling really well. what we did with the sharp blacks is we actually cut them in the same shape as the old iron that you would heat on the coal range. We put some peppercorns on to make it so it looked like the bottom of an iron, and then we actually got a wet cast iron and we set it with them. So it sort of draws you to it, and then you can sell the story, sell the cooking experience, they take it home and they keep coming back. Because we're also talking, I
think the also big thing with this, the flat iron steak, is you've got to let it rest.
That's the
secret.
And that is the secret. We've sort of played around. If you don't let it rest, then it is a little bit it contains, it's a sort of steak you leave medium rare, so you don't want that sort of blood experience coming out of it, so you want it to rest out so then it relax it. And we've sort of worked on, what was it, if you were cooking it for 2 minutes each side, you're sort of going to rest it for about sort of 2 to 3 minutes.
You've got to make sure all your staff are telling the customers. Because if you have it hot, it's not going to be a good experience unless you let that rest. When you let it rest, it is as tender as a rump or a porterhouse. But, one of these, you want to make sure anyone who sells it tells every customer about it, or if you've got the pre-pack, you want a ticket on it about resting for 3 minutes.
When it comes to tickets and things, guys, one of the great things about this program is that we've done point of sale that goes with all of these recipes. So, these are the ones that we've done. Basically, we do recipe cards. So, the same as, your normal beef and lamb recipe cards, except on the back, instead of saying, 500 grams of quality mark beef mince, garlic, bacon, it says beef and bacon Twizzlers is the first ingredient. So it's basically saying, here's the product, here's what it is, and then there's sort of 2 steps. Grill it on the barbecue for 8 to 10 minutes and serve it with salad. So basically it's, if the customer sees it, you can give this to them to take home. There's a independent butcher in Auckland who uses this a lot, this system, and he has these posters in the frames, and he sits them on top of his serve over with the recipe cards just in front. So customers see this, then they grab this, make sure that every customer who buys the product takes one of these home, and he's seeing great success.
So, just sort of capitalising on what Kim said there, it's not often in our industry we get a lot for nothing, is it? And so somebody's actually prepared to help you with promoting your product and things like that. Make the most of it. It's easy to, for us as butchers, to come up with some really new ideas and some great product. And a lot of the time we sort of probably fall down if we haven't got the help with our tickets and our recipe cards and things like that. So, just pick up the phone and give her a call and get some stuff in and give it a go. The next one that we're moving on to is what we call a Ducker dusted lamb rump. So again, I don't know what you're doing at the moment. What are you doing with lamb rumps at the moment in stores?
We do have many, right?
Not a lot? So what are you doing with what is it, just leaf chops in? Steak? Yeah. So nobody's doing some roast for 1, roast for 2?
Did one out of the top side today.
You did a top side?
Yeah, top side with baby spinach, sun-dried tomato and feta with that sun-dried tomato and basil glaze and a bit of water with it and put it on top.
Yeah. So this is similar, exactly the similar, but what we've chosen for the demo is a ducker. Not saying that you have to use a ducker, you can buy it. It's basically, you can buy different flavours of it. It's sort of a nutty crust that you can put on the outside. But again, you might have something that you actually want to make yourself. You just get your white panko crumb or something like that, put a glaze through it, whatever pesto through it, and make it. But this one's nice and simple. We dust it on the outside. We've taken the cap off. Your customers might find that you can leave the cap on. It just depends. But what we've done here, Michael's just actually cutting one into steak, so you'll see it there, then the whole one. Again, it's just another wee idea just to give your customer some variety. I don't know how many, you guys get, how many of your customers come into the store and say, I don't know what I want for tea? A lot, eh? There is a lot. You can sit there and not put up your hand, but I know for a fact there's a lot. Because I come around and talking to you, you're telling me there's a lot. So this is actually just helping you sell more meat by basically giving them more meal ideas. And like, so this one here, what we sort of thought at this time of year is, you know, like, so you guys knowing your customers as well, this might be something that suits your professional couples. So, you know, and you'll know the age bracket that you're sort of sitting at. They could be 25 to 35, that this is a big thing for them, and it's a real big thing for, like, say, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So those are the days that you would have them in your cabinet. But the more we actually do them, and you start talking to a few butchers that are actually doing them, they're finding, like, so people are actually eating quite healthy, so they're taking the cap off and sort of a wee bit of olive oil, trellis the top just to sort of help with that cooking. And then what they're doing is they're actually roasting these off, even just on the barbecue, and then they're resting them for a little bit longer than what you'd normally rest a steak. They're slicing them quite thinly and tossing them through a salad. So again, if you've got somebody that comes into your shop on a Friday night or Saturday night, that's what they're sort of looking for, you could suggest something like this to them. So, you know, you sort of got to use the imagination, you've got to ask the right questions.
In my shop we had a problem selling legs of lamb because they were getting a little bit expensive. So with the whole leg, they were going about $38. So what we did, we took all the rumps off, we took all the shanks off, we scored our legs of lamb, olive oiled them, put sea salt, parsley, thyme and rosemary. And all these legs are already going now, so now we've got the rumps. So we're marinating all the rumps for the midweek roast between Tuesdays and Thursdays. So as soon as we get young couples into the shop, this is only 15 minutes away. Now they rock in between 5 and 6:30. They don't have time for an hour and a half roast. This is a good one for if you see young couples in your shop all the time, or working people that have got less time to cook. And now we're selling heaps of legs of lamb because we've seasoned the legs with olive oil, we've got the sea salt on it. It's all ready to go for people. So, you know, if you've got problems with your legs of lamb or your rumps, you've got to work out a better way because they will sell. It just means your customers have changed their habits. And every shop, every 5 years, your customers will change their habits. They'll either have kids or get married or they'll have more kids. So they're going to change their buying habits. So you have to change with them. So I can't sell any more whole legs of lamb. I've got to take the shank and rump off. But, you know, if you see young couples between Tuesdays and Thursdays, these are the roasts I'll be talking about. Very nice in salads, Greek salads. And you've got to remember, the public consumers, we're eating less meat, whether everyone likes it or not. So you've got to create what they want. You know, everyone wants less fat, so take the fat off the rump and sell them as a little roast. I sell these as couples roasts because they're just good for a couple. So, you know, you've got to work why your customers aren't getting the rumps or your big legs of lamb and work backwards on it.
How many are you selling full legs of lamb now? Still sell lots? Or do you sell lots when they're on special?
On special.
Special. So, which means GP drops, doesn't it? And that's how specials work. So something like this, like what you guys have obviously done, you've sub-pricing your legs. You're actually probably getting better money than what you would if you were selling normal price by.
Yeah, you still have no problem with drumsticks, you know. Some reason they buy them, some.
Yeah, well, it's still trendy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's still no problem moving those as well. So
yeah.
We do something similar with the knuckles though.
Yeah.
Take all the knuckles out and then sub-problem that, and then use the toppy and knuckles.
Yeah. There's just so many ways you can do things that, like food's infinity. The thing is, you got to work out in your cabinet. If it's not moving, you got to change it. It's all about the real estate in your cabinet. If it's not working, push it on and do some added value stuff and try to do some
There's no
different
point
stuff.
continuously running specials, is there?
Well, that's right, mate. Because you're not making money on specials. So you've got to think outside the square. Because everyone's a master chef these days. Like everyone watches these shows.
You've got to work backwards. You know, work out is it in the right place, the cabinet.
Yep.
Is that place a cold spot?
Yep.
So, you know, like in my servos, I have my steaks and mince in the worst place.
Yep. Because it's a staple meal.
Anything that I do brand new is under the FBOS machine or scales. You know, you can always sell whole root fillets and rumps. I put them in the bottom corners. They're the worst places. And then I work my cabinets in. So everything's, all the new stuff and all the new lines were right in the middle, smack in the middle. The first two shelves, or in my servo, were right in the middle. And, you know, anything new like this, I always do demos. Because you can't expect someone to pay 26, 27 bucks for it straight up. You know, you just can't expect it. So, you know your favourite customers, they come Saturdays or Thursdays or Fridays. It doesn't take much to do a demo because after a while, you will get that customer to come back and they'll say, oh, I got that last week, would you do it for me? you know, it doesn't take long before you get a customer relationship. But, you know, I was telling the last few demos, I was unsure how to do demos at my shop, so what I did was I got professionals in for 2 weeks of the month, for 3 months. So they came in 6 times, and they're not cheap, but what I did was I learned how they did the demo. I just watched them how they did it, and after 3 months, I didn't get them in, I did the demo. So if you're unsure how to do a demo, get a professionals in and just watch how they do it. You know, you don't have to keep them forever.
So yeah, there is plenty of things, and like we're all here for the same sort of reason, just to have a look what's out there. So do think outside the square a little bit. You're only limited by your imagination, and like we don't want a special meat. We'd rather see the price of meat come up, and people still buying the same volume. You know, it's one of those things at the end of the day, and we all want to be paid more and make more, and the only way to do that is increase our margins and sales. So yeah, and it also, like, you know, it puts something like this, you know, if you put your name on it, it could be your signature for your store for a wee while, that people keep coming back to you. It's what brings the people. And one of the things that would, you know, like sort of discussing with the guys up in the North Island and that, and last week, and they were saying, you know, it's quite hard in a retail butcher shop because we only see these people at Christmas time. They come in and buy their ham and their nice cuts of meat, and so we're sort of saying, well, like now's the perfect time to introduce things like this and actually get your shop looking 100% and get it so you've got all this new stuff and nice and clean, nice good signs, like so what Kim had there. And so when they do come in and they see it, they go, wow, and you actually see them for 52 weeks of the year instead of 2 weeks of the year. So that's just another wee thing to think about when you go back to work as well. People will start shopping around. If you've got an award-winning ham or sausage or something and they're coming to collect it, try and sell them something else. And these wee things here, they might not have seen them before, so it makes it, you sort of bring them into your shop and talk them into buying some stuff. And one thing also to think about, it's quite funny because when I did this demo the first time, the guys were sort of saying to me, oh, I'd eat 2 of those. But it's not about, sometimes it's not about us. What we eat is not what our customers eat. So we're catering for them, not ourselves. So that's the thing, like, that would feed 2 people. So the one that you've just, if you are trying it, is our most simple one, but then it's probably sort of grabbed the most feedback because it is very simple and guys can see easy money in it. So, a pre-cooked sausage, you might not choose to actually use just a plain pre-cook, but I definitely recommend that you use a pre-cook because it is still, the idea is basically to barbecue it. So like for you guys that are actually making sausages or working with sausages, like a pre-cook, we were talking to some guys last night and they sort of make them pre-cooked for around 25-30 cents each. So that's their sort of cost price that they were telling us. And then what we've done is we've just used a hot dog, an actual hot dog batter.
Is that any different than the batter that we use for the schnitzel?
It actually sticks a bit better. Yeah. So it's
this one you've got to get a real thick one. You know, so when you put a spoon up, it's just dripping.
So we're just dunking them in there, and then again just giving it a crumb or a coating, like so the one we're doing right now, which some of you are probably eating, is the barbecue carnival coating.
You know, whatever shop you've got and you know your customers, you can work out what size you want. So you've got to work out, you know, with the pre-cooked sausages, there's so many different sizes. So in my shop, I just get the ones a little bit bigger. In Australia, these are kind of called like Dagwood dogs. So in my shop, I call them Carina Dagwood dogs. So I put my name on the value-added product, and I've done these for the last month. And we do a multi-buy with them, so they're $3 each or 4 for 10.
That's good cheap,
And I like that shows a reaction, doesn't it? Like we're talking a 25-cent sausage that he gets $3 for.
And you can really market towards the kids too, couldn't you? Because every kid loves something like that, don't they? Yeah.
Last week we did ones that are the small size,
Yeah.
and we called them puppy hot dogs.
Yeah.
So you know you can change the name around a bit, but every shop, you know what your customers can afford and what they can't, so you can just get the different sizes to your customers. But these ones here, these are great if you get the small ones for kids. You know, a young child will feel part of a barbecue with one of these.
How would like a cheese Franksy go on that, you reckon, and like a panko crumb or something like that go right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, any crumbs
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
The only thing with the pre-cooked sausage is it's plain. So do you know what I mean? You don't have to tell people there's cheese or there's other spices. So you take that straight out.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I did these in my servo for about 2 weeks, and now I do them in my pre-pack.
Beautiful.
So they don't take long. I only did 20 the first week, and they were sold within a few hours. Then the following week I did 35, and now we do about 40 every Friday. Pre-cooked sausages, you know, you can get whatever size you can get, but you know, these are great for kids.
How many staff you got?
There's 6.
But like this one, as far as staffing goes, it'd be quite nice to be able to do too, wouldn't it? Because it's quite simple. Stick, sausage, batter, and then you get grub. You get a couple of these doing that, you bang out a few in no time.
For those of you who are looking at these in the book as we're going, if you've been to one of these before, you probably noticed this is the first time we've partnered with Dunningham's in this program. And it's great giving it an extra alternative to offer you guys in terms of an easy product. But if you're looking through these, you'll see there's also at the top there the way to do it without Dunningham's product. So you can do it just with mayonnaise or Dijon mustard. So basically it's giving you an option there, and some people have found that using that Dijon mustard and things offers a different flavour that might appeal more to an adult client. So you know you can have an adult version and a kids version.
Yeah. But like, you know, it's something, has anybody seen anything like that before?
Similar to lots of corn dogs in the States.
Yes, I've never even seen that. Where? So, but again, like even if your sausage is 50 cents and you're selling for $2, like, you know, for you guys that have got kids yourselves, it's not the easiest thing to go somewhere and actually satisfy the kids. You know, like a kid will eat a sausage, sure, but if you can offer them just something a little bit different, they'll actually go for it. And you sort of got to think of ways to sort of to keep them happy as well. Same with adults. Like, I don't know how you compare that to just eating a sausage. I'd class it as something a lot better than just a plain sausage. But just because it's crumbed doesn't mean it has, you know, and people think hot dog, you've got to deep fry. It's still, you know, just a hot plate barbecue. We did them on the barbecue last night. They were fantastic. And nice, simple way to make money. And like when you do tell, like guys will tell you straight away that they want to sell them for a couple of bucks. That's sort of about the starting point. Most guys sort of see it quite quickly. And like Michael said, you don't really want to just sell it as a crumbed sausage on a stick or anything like that. You want to give it a wee bit, put a bit of spin on it, give it a name, create a bit of talk. Because I'm sure, like, if you were one of the first to start doing those, and someone starts sending them at a few barbecues floating around the place, then we start talking about it.
All my value-added products, I always try and put my shop's name in front. So if someone goes to a barbecue and has them, they go, "Oh, I had the Carina Dagwood dogs." You know, so they know my name of the shop straight away, and the people will talk about it. So you know, put your name on a product, put your shop on it, or put one of your staff members' name on it.
Have you tried these? Like you've tried eating those yourself, or those right there now?
Yes, yeah.
The pre-cooks here taste the same as they do over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very
You can get them
similar.
any sizes.
Yeah, but your flavouring is very similar on a sausage.
Yeah. But I don't only keep them, I do them on the plain flavour,
Yeah.
so the kids can have them. I think if you do too many flavours, you could either like them or hate them.
Yeah.
But you know, they work great in my servo and pre-pack. But they're very easy to do demos too. Because once you cook a few up, you just get toothpicks, cut them into 4, and out they go.
Will they skin on?
Skin on.
With having a collagen casing, they'll be nice and they're probably better in a collagen. We have tried them with normal skin, and they still are okay, but they're definitely better in a collagen. Yeah, with a bike. So guys, the next one that we're going to just have a quick look at now is the lamb kebab. How many of you, well, it's probably a silly question, but how many of you are finding that your kebabs are really taken off now that starts sort of since about late weekend sales just climbing? Okay, that's cool. How many of you are making kebabs and actually using vegetables and bits and pieces like that on them rather than just beef or your lamb? Bit of capsicum? Mushrooms? Anybody else doing anything different? Yeah. So, and that's what we sort of are just going to demo tonight. Like, so with the kebabs, like, so you can go through and you can make your own, you know, your coatings, you can keep them plain, but a plain kebab probably has a sort of a price point as well. Would that be a fair call? So to sort of to change that, you got to sort of do something a little bit different. So the ones that we've done for the book here consist of a bit of courgette, a bit of halloumi, and some cherry tomatoes and some meat. So now we've chosen for this kebab to use the back strap. And like, I know some of you are probably thinking I'm not using back straps because of the price of back straps. They're $40 a kilo or $49.95 a kilo, whatever you're getting. But that's again, that's up to your store and how much you're going to sell it for. So you might choose to use something else. But one of the things that we just sort of make sure that guys are aware of is when you are actually doing kebabs, you remember it's the meat that you're trying to cook. You're trying to soften the vegetables. You're not actually trying to cook the veggies so they fall off the stick. So you've got to have your pieces of meat bigger than your veggies so your veggies sort of stay off the plate and they just cook off the heat. So just something to keep in mind as we go. I'm trying to find what else we have on these ones. And then we use the coating. Yeah, so I'm putting it on the meat using a bit of halloumi cheese. Anybody doing a bit of cheese on there? Skewers?
Has anyone tried halloumi?
Yeah, it's nice. Good chili stuff.
Yeah, we did the halloumi kebabs with the lamb rumps, or we do it with the outside flap of the round, the knuckle. So we sinew everything off, and we use that one for our beef kebabs with the veggies as well. But with the lamb, I use the rump or the top sort of round. Like Corey says, whatever shop you've got, you kind of know what you can afford and what you can get in. But in reality, is a kebab is a kebab, and that price is going to be always at $2.50, $2, $1.50. So to take that out of the equation, you need to work out a better way to put less meat but more money. So your veggies are your lowest cost. So, you know, suddenly one of these kebabs can go to $3.
The halloumi's same sort of price as me too.
Well, the difference is we've got 50 grams of meat on. And if we do one with all meat, you know, we might have 200 grams of meat.
Yeah, but then on the flip side too, you got someone there portioning veggies, and I know my window disposal, I like the veggies all the same size and everything, so everything all portions out the same. And to do that, when you're turning over big amounts of like kebabs, you know, it takes a while to get those veggies all cut out to size. So, like...
That's a fair point. So, you know what I do at my shop? I cut all the veggies up like this, take a photo on my phone, and I blow it up and I put it on a sheet. That's the veggie size. I cut up all my veggies up on Thursday, put them in a tray, put them in your bloom, in your fridge, then the next day I do them all at once. So, you know, you got prep going all the time.
So if you got one person prepping up like those meatballs on the Friday, you got someone prepping up all your veggies. Does your whole staff do that, or
that's
is it individual people?
Yeah. You work at a flow system. Like I wouldn't come on Saturday morning at 5 a.m, get lamb legs pared, bone them out, get your top sides, and do it that way.
So you have what, 2-3 different windows during the week?
So what do you do the rest of the week then? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Breaking everything.
What do you sell?
Well, we sell.
Munson steak.
value-added stir fries, we
Yeah.
sell steak, we sell mince.
You do find that people do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You have different areas that like your stir fries, your mince, and things like
Yes,
that.
a couple of years
ready to
ago, we had to find out, I had to do a sheet how to work out what my customers are. So what we did was, I got a couple A4 sheets, I laminated them, and I put them next to my phone. I said to everyone in my shop, I said, okay, I want to see who my customers are for a whole month. So I told all the people in the staff in my shop. So I had a few columns. I had 20 to 30 year olds, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and 60 plus. And I told my guys, you know, I'll give them a 6-pack of beer every Saturday if I count my customers and I can relay it to a score. So what I did was, for the whole month, I worked out what my customers, who they are, what ages they are. And then I just catered backwards. So then I worked out, you know, what my customers want on Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Thursday. It did take a while, but now, you know, I'm not going to do heaps of legs of lamb on a Tuesday and Thursday. I'll put heaps out on Friday because I know by Saturday, Sunday, Monday they'll
Sunday
go.
roast.
But that's how I worked out that way.
Yeah,
Back to the backstrap though, the lamb ribeyes are cut that's underutilised enough as well too though.
you can use shoulder, no problems at all, Dan. Like you say, easy.
Yeah.
Still a good piece of meat, it's lamb. If you want to ensure your tenderness, do something, you know, you can give it a wee bit of a tender. Like you say, you know, like some of you guys, they got tumblers,
I was just about to say that.
massage them.
When you butterfly your shoulders, rip your ribeyes out.
Yeah, and butter and drop in a
Maximize.
massager. You know, you can put a coating in or a glaze on, whatever you want in that with that. Give it a tumble for 30 minutes and then dice it onto your kebabs. Also, you've got to utilise what's around you as well, because there's actually places out there that are prepared to dice your veggies for you. And the more you use, the cheaper it is. So you start something off and you might be doing it yourself and you're sort of thinking, I'm not going to be able to cope with this come Christmas time. Go and talk to one of your veggie suppliers around. They do veggies to chop to size. They have machines to do it, so it's actually quite cost effective. Even for your stir fries and bits and pieces too. You can buy a bag of carrot or a bag of onion, a bag of capsicum. If we keep sort of sitting back and thinking, oh, it's a bit more work, it's a bit more work. There's only one way that we seem to make money, and that's work. So, and you know, once you build systems and you get things in place, you guys know yourself, it does happen, and eventually guys become fast at it too. So you're not going to have your slowest kebab maker stand there with one foot on the table, leaning, threading them on a stick. You have your guy that's motivated, he's nice and fast, he's banging the work out for you. Hopefully that's what your butcheries consist of.
Who's motivated to make kebabs though? It's
Obviously not you, Dave. You've just given me a good example. So you don't get paid to make your kebabs.
Yeah, I've got 300 of
So you get someone like Gav who's really, he gets into it.
Couldn't be there. Good
sense of humour, Corey.
Comedy show now.
So no, seriously though, you can do, you pick your people for your jobs. Like everybody's got strengths and weaknesses.
Well, we've got
So-
a small man.
You know, you guys, you can be a butcher and dice it. You don't have to be the guy that threads it on a stick. You might have a meat packer that loves doing that sort of stuff, so you leave it to her or him.
But what my shop shuts at 6:30 at night, so there's always 3 of us on until 6:30. So what we do on Fridays is there's one person between 6:30 while it's quiet, they dice everything up, put it into the room. So the next day, the next person who comes in is ready to go. So you got to remember your quiet times as well. But any new value-added products, you really want to do them on the Saturday.
But that really, the old 5 piece of meat on a stick has a price limit. Most people that we showed them to, in fact 99.9% of the people would choose that one over it with 3 pieces of meat. Halloumi might not be your cup of tea because of the price of it. You know, halloumi, we were talking to the guy last night, he was saying $15 a kilo. So, you know, that might not be, but to me that's not too bad. Especially if you only got a couple of wee pieces on a stick and it's selling an extra 150, 200 kebabs a week for you or something like that. But that's, you know, that the weight of that compared to that.
You're better off buying a steak.
What's that?
You're better off buying a steak.
Go home and take Dave with you.
Yep. So that there is quite appealing though.
So what would you ask for that, Corey, and what would you ask for the one without the veggies on it there?
Well, it's quite funny you ask because I'd be wanting probably $3.50 for that, if
Yep.
not more.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
a guy that was doing them up in Auckland the other day is getting $5 each for them. He's selling them no problems at all.
Yeah, that's Auckland though.
That's why he can use halloumi and all the good stuff and backstrap,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas you might
But you wouldn't need to use backstrap if you had a tumbler though, because you'd get another piece of a bit of topside would eat
Yep.
just as nice as backstrap.
that's right, but we just chose to use the back strap tonight.
Yeah. And what
So-
would you ask for the other piece?
That one there,
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'd get $5 for that. I'd need to get $5 for
Yeah.
it, but realistically, lamb kebabs I see around $2.50.
Any picture?
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, sorry for
That's for later. No, but seriously, like I said, you know, you guys just need to think about that one as well. Like I said, you do see your kebab store like that, which is still popular, but they have a price point. If you want to get just a little bit more, then you've got to go for the GP stuff. And
That's a good point. Definitely a good point. I'm going to thought about that. Yeah.
and also, like I said,
Veggies are seasonal as well too. They watch people's mood.
that's exactly it. And you know, you might choose to use tinned or something, but also, like, so your kebabs are probably not as big a seller in the winter when the veggies are a bit dearer. But for you guys that are in supermarkets, you're quite lucky too. You've got good access to veggies. You might be doing, you know, like, so they might want to turn their veggie section over quite well, so you're getting your peppers straight out of the cabinet, the veggie section. Otherwise, you've got a relationship with your veggie grower down the road, and you get them. Just remember, you shop around, look for the best deal.
We don't have a tumbler in my shop, and we just get the big 10 kilo buckets. We do the marinade, and we just dice the meat up, put it in the bucket, then tie it on, so put it in the cold room for a night.
Beautiful.
The next day, it's all soaked in. So, you know, there's other avenues to go down.
Yeah.
But we do very similar to kebabs like that, and ours is $4 each, and they get $5.15 just to get them turnover. As you do more, all your other ingredients come right down.
Yeah.
So you kind of want that multi-buy. But, you know, those ones out, like I said, I don't do them Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I wouldn't do them between Tuesday and Thursday. So you got to check your seasonal customers, what they want, and you just got to be careful of the weather too.
Totally.
Like on Wednesday, I just check my phone and check what the weather outlook is. You know, you wouldn't want to do 50 kebabs if it's going to be storming on Saturday night.
When you talk about the portioning of your product, one of the things that probably, like I don't, I'm not a butcher as such, so we go to the back of someone like Subway, and you wonder how they get their cucumber to be that thin and their tomatoes to be that thin. They're using your meat slicer. So that instead of sitting there and cutting your slice, put your meat slicer to whatever the setting is.
4 mil and just flick it through.
You can get those.
Or you can buy a mandolin.
Yeah, mandolins, mate. Just like that too. So you've got all the products in there, and they kill their cheese so they get it sliced thinner. They make it a lot easier.
It is. It's all
for
about just working out that best idea, isn't it? And obviously the most cost-effective way to be able to produce the products. But like it makes, you know, when you do show people kebabs like that, it does actually lighten them up. They would love to be eating one with a nice bit of vegetable and stuff on it, especially coming up to Christmas time. A lot of people are doing dinner parties. If you're doing a dinner party, they do like to take something nice along to somewhere. So like if they saw some kebabs or like that versus the meat ones, the chances are they'd grab the ones with the veggies and then they'd actually look quite good at the party or whatever they're at. You know?
So you got to take it back a bit further, and you know, every butcher will just have one of these for breakfast, lunch, dinner. But you know what? You're not selling to yourself. You're selling to your customers. So you got to take that away from your shop. You know, you got to ask what your customers would like. And the reality is they're eating less meat, so you got to put the veggies on it to get your GP and your money.
So we've got one more to go through now, and that's the Mediterranean lamb rolls. So we'll run through that one, but before we do, just give you a little background on that one. Hopefully you've all seen by now the Meat Magazine, which we've had going for the last couple of years, and is very successful in stores. If you haven't seen it, come see me afterwards. It is free for your stores as well, another free resource. For the first time that this round of Cutting Edge, we've put in a few products which are featured in here, and this is one of them. So basically, what it's saying is, you know, you've seen the product in Meat Mag, you know it's good, it's a Chelsea winter recipe. We've done all the hard work for you. Here it is, just have to hold up with it. So that's basically the theory behind it, and I'll go grab you some tastings and maybe
Thanks, Kim. So like Kim was just saying, and we were talking to the other guys last night and that about it too, everybody has Meat Mag that we've been speaking to. Everybody says it just flies out the door, everybody's grabbing it. So the idea, if you can, have your Meat Mag with this product or beside this product in the cabinet and actually do a bit of a promotion that way and actually sort of throw a celebrity chef's name against it and sort of try and create that sale for it. They are just coming out now. They are very, very nice. So, you know, like if you do some tastings, it's not hard to sell them. And it's another way to get good GP back on your lamb eggs by sub-bridling them. What we decided we'd use is the top side rather than the thick back because of the size of it. It just gives us a bit more meat to actually be able to do. So we just slice it thinly, and then only sort of 2/3 of the way through, then all the way through, so we can actually get that butterfly effect.
Can you use your electric tenderizer? Is it all right?
You could, but to be honest, we're not actually trying to tenderise, we're just flattening them so it actually makes it more workable. We don't want it to look like a tenderised piece of meat.
It won't by the time you're finished, but yes.
Yeah, so, because what we actually do is the secret to keeping them looking good is you actually roll that to the inside, so then when it rolls you've got the nice meat on the outside. And they consist of a piece of mozzarella, a bit of basil leaf, a prune, some finely chopped red onion and crushed pistachio nuts. And like when we've been talking, we've been saying, you know, you put your own spin on it, you do what you feel works for you, but with this one here being in the recipe book, I would stick with what it actually says in the recipe book, which is what we have. And then we're just using the wee green truss bands to go around them because they're nice and simple. But again, if you wanted to, you could use your sticks, whether it be toothpicks, kebab sticks, whatever you choose.
Put it on 18. It's really good. Really want someone to know what to do with that
So, one of the things that we pushed when we were talking about these ones too, guys, is making sure that when your customer gets home, they still look like that. So you're not sort of putting them into the bag and sort of just putting them at the bottom of the pile. You're actually, if you can, put them on a tray and overwrap them. Because if your customer gets home and they're a mess, the cooking perception of them is not going to be great. She's going to think it's a mess from the start, so it's going to be a mess at the end. So you want to try and sell that, you know, like they look good in the store, they look good when you put them in the bag, and they still look good when she put them in the fridge at home, and then they look fantastic when she got them out of the pan. Coming into Christmas again, this is actually like, these are not like, again, a lot of people sort of think beef olive, but they're not, they're actually a barbecue dish. So you don't have to casserole them, you can actually, like, they've been done pan fried.
We did them yesterday on the barbecue.
Yeah.
And let's say, you know, you can barbecue, grill them, oven them.
Just one.
They work just as well either way. And they don't take long to cook. They're only, you know, 3-4 minutes each side if that.
But again, what a lot of it's going to come down to, if you do decide something like that's going to be quite cool to do, but especially coming into summer, Christmas, people are going to entertain. When they're entertaining, they're in a good mood, they want good food, but you have to educate them again on the cooking. You can't just expect them to go home and stuff it, which does happen a lot of the time. So you've got to talk them through it, make sure they're actually going to cook them properly.
What's the stuffing is that, please?
That's a crushed pistachio nut.
Yeah.
And well, we got red onion, prunes, mozzarella cheese, and a bit of basil.
Okay.
So how do they eat? They're nice.
Yeah, they're very nice.
So again, another neat idea for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get them going on your 3 busiest days of the week. You pedestal this table in your cabinet, or you ring Kim, you get a nice wee picture of it, you get your meat magazine, you do the whole promotion, you sell the story, and work on it from there.
And this is a good one on the meat mag to get the page. and just blow it up to like an A2 on your front window. So your front door, as anyone comes in, this is what you're doing this weekend. And I'd stick to the recipe too, because anyone who buy one, you just give the meat mag to them, so they can check the whole recipe and how to cook it. So this is actually the easiest one to do a cross promotion with the whole magazine as well. You know, every customer with one of these and that would know how to cook it and what it should taste like. But you know, you can do them in your display or your pre-pack. But you know, we do them in ours, and they're $4 for $20. And you know, they feed a family. That's quite filling. Remember, there's no waste at all.
And they're definitely not hard to make. Like what we do, the last couple of days we've done 100, haven't we? Yeah, one work.
Is that portion there, is that half of that or a third of that?
Is that portion?
That
It is half.
of that.
Yeah.
How's tasty? It's beautiful.
So if you got a whole one,
It's quite refreshing on the palate too, isn't it? Having
It's
that
actually
ingredients.
the nicest one so far.
so we would have, I think we did maybe 100 and probably about 40 minutes to talk today.
After you correct you, right?
No, that's I didn't.
That's good.
So it's not too bad. But as we've sort of say right at the start that these are only ideas. We're not telling you it's going to sell in your shop. We're not telling you how much to sell it for. We're just trying to help sort of, you know, you create sales and get some good ideas from it. Has anybody got any thoughts on those? Like what they do, like just so then we can sort of, you know, like some price. What would you see something like that selling for? Anybody price wise?
About $5.
$5 each. Which, and if we're getting 5 out of a topside lamb, bloody good money, isn't it?
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, we could do something for that.
That's
So, yeah, you just got to. And the other thing, like we've been doing the cutting edge workshops for 3 years. Around that, people are sort of saying that, and just talking to other guys that are involved in the industry and they're introducing new products and that, everything takes time. You can't expect to put this out tomorrow and if it doesn't sell, then you stuff it and you throw it in the bin. Like Michael said, what he does is he starts off with small quantities. If it hasn't moved, then you sort of look at what you're doing. So the next day you might actually decide, well, that deer I made yesterday, I'll put some fresh ones out today. I'll cook those and I'll push them and I'll create sales. So you get them behind it and you do it, and then they take traction. They do say 8 to 13 weeks before you get the wheel turning nicely. So don't just think 4 weeks, it hasn't sold, it hasn't worked. Go back and have a look at what you've introduced, how you've introduced it, bring somebody else and get some advice from them that you know has done it, and just work on it. So yeah, things take time.
When you do your value added, a couple of my rules are only do it on Saturday morning, any new products. Never do it Tuesday, Wednesday on your quietest days because that's your less customers. That's where people get caught up. They do it on a Tuesday. Come Saturday when they get the most customers through the shop, it's not looking as good. And don't next week try all 6 at once. I'd only do one a month, and just slowly roll them out. Work out what your customers want and what you can do. And when you do them, I make sure all my staff are in front of me. I show them once, I show them twice, and then the third time I take a photo with my phone, blow it up, and then this is how it is.
Yep.
And all my young guys do it. You know, we've got the 4 butchers, 3 guys are 21s or 21, 1 guy's 30, and my 2 apprentices are 19, and they all do these ones. So, you know,
What's your biggest seller in your shop of those?
well, I've done those ones, those ones, and those ones, and those ones. And I've only done these twice.
Which one do you think you sell the most of?
Most GP,
Yeah.
by far.
Hands down.
Hands down. The easiest, the quickest, and all I do differently, I just put Parmesan cheese. I just put big Parmesan cheese, but I make sure if I've got a tray to serve over, that is the display tray, and I have one backup tray and backup. So if someone wants 5 or 6, I take them out of the backup tray, so I don't wreck my good one. So it always looks great. And then come about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll just keep taking them in the bed.
That's quite an Australian those racks. Not many Kiwis will buy the back chiller. I'd go, no, I want those out the window. I think
But if someone says to me, I'll have 5 like that, I'll give them 5, they're going to pay $3.
Same thing in the UK when I was butchering in London. Like, we had the same thing. They'd buy from the window, but we'd take from trays at the back. Bring that to here, it wouldn't happen.
You just say to them, oh, I've just made some out of the back. I always grab the ones out the back from you to save
Oh,
me. Just,
No, if someone,
you
if
can
I
tell
had a
people.
good display, someone said I'll have 6, I'll just take 6 from that tray.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as the customer wants something, no point just arguing, just give it to them. Only takes a minute to do that tray.
You sort of know that point of how far you can push it to say, oh, I'll go out the back and get them all just there.
Yeah, and after a while, you know what your customers are going to be the hard ones. But just roll them out slowly and make sure you do demos. That's my big thing. They work, they really do.
I find too, if you're introducing new products all the time and everything, you want to move them around in your cabinet too. You don't want to always have them in one spot. If they walk past on Monday and see a product there, and they walk past on Thursday, it's still in the same spot, they just get mundane with it. So you got to always move around your real estate.
Yeah, and I always make sure, you know, there's a story in my pre-pack too. Like if I've got chicken kebabs, rump kebabs, lamb kebabs, I'll make sure everything is in one place.
Yep.
So if they always get the chicken kebabs, they'll know it's it. And then every 6 months I turn the whole shop back over. So I change everything.
Yeah.
So then everyone's confused, including me. So yeah, I just keep changing all the time, you know.
Yep.
If you keep doing the same thing every year, you're going to get the same results.